Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lona and I'm a planning and evolutions engineer. As a planning and evolutions engineer, I touch on almost every aspects of IT. So if you're new here, karibu sana, and remember to check on my previous videos. This is a YouTube channel where we simply share IT information in general, information that we feel like it's useful for the IT professionals out there. So kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel, share my videos, give a like to each and every video, and remember to leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about my videos, and let me know if you have anything you feel like I should talk about. So today, guys, I want us to talk about a very interesting topic, and that's the topic of certifications. And I want us to focus on cloud certifications today. And the question we want to answer today is, do cloud certifications guarantee a job? Do cloud certifications guarantee a job? I've seen this discussion a lot, especially in LinkedIn. Some people are like, no, you don't you don't need a certification and you need experience. And some people are like, yeah, you need a certification. So what do you think, guys? What is your opinion about certifications, especially in the cloud? What is what do you think about certifications? Is it something that's important to you? Can you use a certification to secure a job? Let me know in the comment section. And if you've done any certification, kindly let me know which one you've done. Let me know your driving factor. What made you do that certification, and how has it helped you in your career? So guys, for me, I feel like my answer is both a yes and a no. There are some situations which I feel like a certification can actually get you that job, and there are some other situations which I feel like you probably need more for you to get that job. So for my yes answer, I'm looking at two scenarios: one, an entry level job, and two, a promotion in the same job. Okay, so if you're an entry level person, you're looking for an entry level job, probably you just come from campus, and you're looking for a way to secure a job. So remember, at that moment you probably have your certificate from campus for the course that you've studied for and nothing more. So for you to go an extra mile to do a certification, for me it shows how you're passionate about it and how you really want to get knowledge about that particular thing that you want to get yourself into. Remember, for me, I feel like certifications are the greatest starting point for that particular career, because doing a certification actually exposes you to a lot of knowledge in that particular area. And so for someone who hasn't worked before and they're looking for a job, I feel like for me, seeing them that they actually have a certification, I'll definitely know that they have a lot of knowledge, some massive knowledge about that particular field, and I'd probably give them a job. And remember also, this is something that you're coming out, so many of you, and so you having a certification is definitely a differentiating factor between you and that other person who doesn't have a certification yet. Because for you to do that exam, for you to study, first of all, take your time to study, because remember, some of these certifications, they have a lot of content, which you have to give yourself a lot of time. You also have to use your money to pay for a voucher, and make sure that you pass that exam. So for me, I feel like that's a kind of a person who is really showing a lot of passion, a lot of attitude, good attitude towards that particular career. And for an entry level person, I see that thing in your CV, I'll definitely give you a job. And I feel like that happens in most of these companies, because you're coming out as a fresh person, you don't have experience yet in the field. And so me seeing that you've done a certification actually will be something that will be an added advantage for you to get that job. Yeah, so that's one of the scenarios that I feel like a certification can actually guarantee you a job, as long as you can actually show, because you'll go for that interview and you'll be asked some 1, 2, 3 questions from what you've done in the certification. So as long as you can show that you actually studied for it by answering those questions right, then I feel like you actually will be the right person for that job. Remember, because I said in the past that there are other certifications which people just copy and answers online, and I strongly discourage that, because you want to come out and work for someone. And so I would like to encourage you to do that certification from your heart. Make it a need, and not make it something that you really need, and not something just to show, you know just to show that you have a certification and for you to get a job. No, make it something that you're interested in. Show your interest by doing the studies, by making sure that you acquire that knowledge for you to pass that exam. So yeah, for an entry level, it's a yes for me, for securing a job with a certification. The other yes scenario is when you're looking for a promotion, or maybe additional cash to your pay slip. So you're showing yourself that you're upscaling, you're looking for extra knowledge, you want to become better. So for you to, to upskill, it means that you want to improve yourself, you want to become, a person that can be dependent on. And so a promotion will definitely come your way, depending on the policies of the company. But I feel like, showing out that, I'm going extra mile to do this certification because I want to become better, or I want to move to the next level, then I feel like, your employer should actually consider that and give you that promotion. I feel like it happens out here. A situation where I feel like it may be hard is when you've just done your certification, you don't have experience, and probably you've come across a job which requires someone to have had some experience in the field. So for you to just show your certificate, it probably be a little bit hard for the employer to get convinced that you can actually perform because you don't have experience yet. And here they're looking for someone with some, years of experience. So despite you having the certification, it will a little become a little bit hard for the employer. So look at a situation where you're coming in with your certification and someone else who doesn't have a certificate but they have some field experience. So I feel like the person who has experience will be considered more than the person who just have a certification and no experience. This is because, guys, this is a job that requires someone to have some skills. So for you who's having a certificate, it means you'll have to have some time to learn, but they at that point they require someone who is not learning, who is already having some experience. So at that point, I feel like if you want a job that if you want to secure a job with your certification, I feel like you should show something extra, that apart from you reading for certification and having the theory, you've actually been able to translate your theory to some hands-on practice. So guys, what are some of these things that you can do to assist your certification to make you appear like you have some experience already? So if you're doing an AWS cloud certification, for example, you can actually start practicing within portal of AWS. So if you don't have an account yet, you can actually sign up for an AWS account, and from there you can start practicing on the different things that are available in the AWS cloud. And remember, guys, when you sign up for a AWS account, there's the free tier which you can actually start deploying stuff without you being required to pay anything. But remember also, if you want to learn more, you can actually pay something small and make sure that you are learning, you're getting hands-on experience, so that you don't just have to show your certificate. You can actually add to your CV that you've done this kind of projects in AWS. So you can actually pick a small project, and that can help you to learn the basics of AWS, the basic services in AWS, like EC2, like VPCs, like storage S3, like databases, RDS, things like CloudFront for DNS. So those are some of the things that you can actually start with, just to show that you're comfortable with the AWS portal. You can create an EC2, you can actually create a VPC, because remember, a VPC is something that's mandatory when you're creating an EC2. So an EC2 has to be in a VPC, and so then you learn something like private and public networks. For storage, you can actually start creating buckets, adding policies to a bucket, if it's supposed to be publicly accessible or it's a private bucket. So those are some of the things that you can actually get yourself into by just, using the free tier, and, you can just maybe spend a little bit of your money for you to learn, and make sure that, you're being very, very careful with, spending in AWS, because some bills can actually go very high within a short time. So you can actually do a small project. For example, something like you can deploy a website, a small website. So for you deploying a website, it means you have to create an EC2, because that's where your website will be. So you can actually create like 2 EC2s and put your website in the instances. You definitely will have what do you call it, an RDS as a database for your website, and definitely you learn about a VPC, because your EC2s will have to be in a VPC. So you learn about private subnet and the public subnet, and the EC2 which is hosting the website will probably be in the public subnet, and your RDS, which is the database, will be in the private subnet. And then also you can learn about security groups. Security groups are like firewall. So what kind of traffic should be able to reach the RDS, and what kind of traffic should be able to reach your EC2 having the application. And so you learn about the public facing applications, which is now the EC2, and the RDS, which is in the private subnet. And you can also learn things about what else? ELB, the elastic load balancer. Remember, here you've put your application in 2 EC2s, and you want you want to have traffic coming to two EC2s at the same time. So you can actually use a load balancer to be able to load balance the traffic between the two EC2 instances. So at that point, you'll have learned a lot of things. You'll have learned about load balancing. You'll have learned about, and with load balancers, there are different ways of, creating a load balancer. You learn about configuration, the configuration for the load balancer. You learn about the template that is used to create a load balancer. And so you learn about how to share traffic between the two instances. You learn about a database. You learn about the VPC, the private and the public subnets. And another thing that you can learn is S3. So you can actually store your data from your website to an S3 bucket. And so storing data from probably your EC2 to S3, there's something that you called a gateway endpoint that connects an EC2 to S3. A gateway connects an endpoint connects what is in the VPC to another product of AWS that's not in that VPC. So you doing that small website will actually give you, a lot of learning about, the different aspects of, AWS, deploying a website in AWS. So I feel like that's one project that you can start with as a new learner in AWS cloud that can actually, give you a way of learning a lot of basic products in AWS. So that's one really good project that you can actually start with, and you can actually add to your CV. Remember, guys, I said for me, if I learn something and I feel like I'm confident with it, I usually add to my CV. And remember, when you go for an interview, now this is the person I'm talking about, that you have a certification but you don't have hands-on experience yet. So the moment you add that one to your CV and you go for an interview, you'll have confidence explaining that project. Like I did this, I deployed the EC2s, I added my website, I made sure that I have a load balancer to load balance traffic between the two EC2s. My EC2s they were in a VPC, and the VPC had the public and the private subnet because I had a database in the private subnet. Of course, there is the routing between the public subnet and the private subnet, and definitely there's a routing to the internet through the load balancer. And there's an S3 somewhere that's storing the information from your website, and therefore you'll have learned still about the endpoints. So that's a very simple project that can actually give you a lot of confidence working with AWS. And there's also Route 53. Maybe you want your load balancer to be able to be accessible through a certain domain name, and therefore that's when you learn also about Route 53. So for a person who is coming to the field, they don't have experience, they just have their certification, kindly look for a project that you can do. There's so many projects that you can do. The one that I've mentioned is just a simple example, and I feel like it exposes you to a number of products in AWS, and you can actually try that and see how much you'll be very, very comfortable working on the AWS portal. There are other things you can learn about serverless. You can learn about cloud formation, how to create, cloud AWS cloud services using cloud formation. You can learn so many things, and there are so many documentations for you to be able to do some projects in AWS. Look at documentation from AWS themselves, how you can do different things. And so I feel like for someone who doesn't have experience yet, kindly try and do a project here and there for you to be able to add to your CV, and you'll actually be able to talk to your employer that, I have my certification, but I've also had some hands-on experience by doing this practice. And you can actually explain your project very, very courageously, very confidently, and that can actually guarantee you a job. So by itself, at that point, certification may not give you a job unless you have some hands-on experience. And the only way you can get some hands-on experience if you're not working is for you to do projects. So look for documentations, sign up for AWS account, play around, use the free tier. And if you want to go an extra mile, kindly be careful about the billing. Every time you create a product, make sure that you delete so that your billing don't go high, and you find yourself paying a lot of money. So that's my advice, guys. So as my answer, again, I will say yes and no. Yes, for a person who is looking for an entry-level job. Yes, for a person who is looking for promotion. And no, for a person who is looking to apply for a job that requires some experience. yet they haven't done any projects. So for that person, do a lot of projects, look around, try to familiarize yourself with AWS, and that way I can guarantee you that you'll actually get that job. So that's it, guys. Remember to leave your comments on the comment section. Let me know what you think about certifications in the cloud. Let me know about what, the kind of things which have helped you to secure a job if you didn't have experience before. Let me know about your journey in the cloud, whichever cloud, whether it's AWS, whether it's Azure, or whether it's Google. Let me know about your journey from the point that you started doing certifications to the point of getting employed. Kindly let's share this information, because I feel like it's really, really important to encourage someone out there. And so let's have these conversations. Let's be encouraging one another. So guys, that's my opinion about certifications. And if you really want to learn more, if you want to get in touch with me, kindly check on my email in the description box, and I'll be happy to respond to any of the questions that you might be having. Bye for now, and let's meet in the next video. Bye bye.